configuring error handling for asynchronous invocation. So configuring error handling for asynchronous invocation in AWS is crucial to ensure that your application can gracefully handle and respond to errors that occur during function execution. Asynchronous invocations differ from synchronous ones in that they don't return results to the caller. Instead, AWS Lambda places the event in a queue, and the function is invoked independently. Therefore, managing error requires different approach. So there are several steps to do that, and the first one we want to talk about, which will be the dead letter queue. Let me type that here. So the dead letter queues. Sorry, guys. So you should set up a dead letter queue to capture failed invocation events. You can use Amazon SQS queue for an Amazon or an Amazon SNS topic, or your dead letter queue that you already configured. Configure your Lambda function to send events to the dead letter queue after it fails to process them. This done in the Lambda functions configuration under the asynchronous invocation section, and we will make a dedicated videos about how we configure dead letter queues for our Lambda functions. Number 2, we will talk about Lambda functions configuration, and this is what we'll do in the next video. So in AWS Management Console, open your Lambda function, go to Configuration Lab and select Asynchronous Invocation. Here you can configure the dead letter queue and specify the maximum number of retries and maximum event age. Number 3, we want to talk about the maximum retry attempts. Basically, by default, Lambda retries failed asynchronous invocations up to 2 times. You can adjust this setting based on your requirements if you want. We have the maximum age, maximum event age. So you can set the maximum age on the event before it discarded or sent to the dead letter queues. The maximum event age in the period after which the event is no longer retried. Like, again, the maximum event age is just the period after which the event is no longer retried. So that's it for the event. We want to talk about the monitoring and alarms. So here you should use Amazon CloudWatch to monitor function errors and set up alarms. You can sorry guys, I'm still ill. So you can use Amazon CloudWatch to monitor functions error and set up alarms. You can track metrics like errors, dead letter key errors, and throttles. Also create the CloudWatch alarms to notify you when certain error thresholds are met. It's important also to talk about the idempotency. Oh no. So ensure your Lambda function is idempotent, meaning that processing the same event multiple times does not result in correct behavior or data. This is important because Lambda might retry the invocation if it fails. Lastly, we have error handling code. So implement a robust error handling with your Lambda function, catch exceptions, and handle them appropriately within your code. So let's talk about some best practices that we should follow. And in the next video, we'll try to make our first configuration for the error. Sorry, this is right. This is wrong. The first thing that I want to talk about, the dead letter queue monitoring. Sorry guys, I'm still ill. First thing that I want to talk about is the dead letter queue monitoring. So Regularly monitor your dead letter queue to check for failed events. Have a process in place to handle and process these events. After that, we're going to talk about the security. So ensure that the dead letter queue has the appropriate permission set to that only authorized entities can read from it. We want to talk about testing. So test your Lambda function with various failure scenarios to ensure that it behaves as expected during failures and that the dead letter queue configuration works correctly. And lastly, we want to talk about logging. So implement detailed logging within your Lambda function to capture error details. This can be invaluable for diagnosing issues with failed invocations. Sorry guys. So configuring error handling for asynchronous invocation in AWS Lambda is essential for building resilient serverless applications. It allows you to manage and respond to errors effectively, ensure that your application can handle failure scenarios. So today's we just do some overview of configuring how to configure handling and how to configure error handling invocation for asynchronous functions in Lambda. And in the next video, we'll try to make a hands-on. We'll try to configure an error. I guess each one of them will have a dedicated video specifically the dead letter queue. Maybe in the next video, we'll talk about the maximum retry attempts and the event. And we will see what we do in the next videos. Maybe we will have multiple videos to try to discuss every single thing because it's just an important and huge topic. So that's it for today's video, and I hope you like my content. If you like my content, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and see you in future problems.